Hi, I'm Benga Anyofe, the CEO of PrimeTech 101. Today I'll be teaching educators how to design a grading and result template using Microsoft Excel. It is of no doubt that grading students' score and generating results for each of them is one of the core functions of a teacher. Research has shown that due to pressure on teachers to deliver results in a time frame, computational errors occur at about 65% of the time. In order to solve this problem and eliminate any error of computation, we are going to employ the services of Microsoft Excel to design an automated grading and result generation application. If you are ready, let's dive in. In this course, we will be working with this beautifully designed template. It has three main tabs: the Home tab, the Database tab, and the Gradebook tab. The Home tab setup. This is the front page of your template. In this lesson, we will learn how to make simple cell formatting, learn how to use the font and the fill colors, how to use mark and center, how to use links on texts and shapes, and also how to use borders and border colors. Alright, this is the front page, that is the home page of our sample template. It is formatted to the author's preference, so you can go ahead and choose what you want to put in here, the color combination that suits your brand, and any way you want to set this up. So let's quickly run through how this is done: the font, the fill colors, the borders, and how to change the colors, the shapes, and how to link the shapes. We are going to do that in a jiffy. To select font or change font, you go to the Home tab, and from the Home tab you see this font box. So for this simple school grading application, I can come here and choose whatever font I want to use by just clicking this drop down arrow. I can choose any font of my choice. In this case, maybe I want to change it to this one. This is too big. To make it smaller, I can take this. Alright, if that is fine, I can select another font for this and any other font I want to use. Now, if you look at this cell, it's a combination of some cells together. You can see rows 6 and 7 with B, C to F. This is what we call merging. We have merged those cells together. To do merging, still on the Home tab, you come to merge and center here. When I click this, it will unmerge the cells. You can see. But because I want it to be centralized, I want it to give it a very fine look, so I'll select all the cells I want to merge, then I'll just click merge and center. You can see when I click merge and center, it is all the cells are merged together. The text in it is in the center. So you can do as many formatting as you want. You can see again that I have this beautiful red borderline. This beautiful red borderline. To choose borderline at any point in your template, let's say I want to put border here at this selected range, all you just need to do is come to this border portion. If I click the drop down arrow, I can put bottom border here, top border left, no border at all, outside border, but I want to use thick. So if I click this, it will automatically put border here. and as you can see, this is black. I can change the border color. When you click the drop down arrow again and you come down, you see the line color. You can come and choose any color of your choice. If I want it to be purple, when you choose that, you see this pencil icon, just click escape, and that goes. Click the border again and see the color. It's now purple. So from here you choose any type of border you want and you set the border colors. And also on this page I inserted a shape, and to get the shape in Microsoft Excel, all we need to do is go to insert. When you click insert, from the menu bar, then you go to, because of the kind of Excel that I'm using the latest one, so my shape is inside the illustration. So I click shape here. When I click shape, you can choose any shape of your choice to represent whatever you want to do. So you can see my cursor has changed to a cross sign. So wherever you want to put the shape, just click and drag, and you have your shape. So when you have your shape, you can see that I now have a new menu here called format. So on this format, I might want to change the way my shape looks, I want to change the color and how it's set up. I can change the color here, I can increase it, I can do whatever I want to do through this. But if I want to type in it, I can just double click inside the shape and you see my cursor blinking in there. Then you put any text you want in the shape. To change the text color, just highlight the text inside the shape, and on your home tab, normally the way you change your colors, just click the color you want. So basically most of the cell formatting is done on this home tab. You can bolding your text, italize it, underline it. You can choose your border, and this is the fill color. If you watch, this text is color red. So if I click it again, if I want to change it, this is font color to any text, to any color of my choice. All I just need to do is come to this font color and set it. But you can see this background colors. So do that. Just select your background. Let's say I want to change the background color here to something else. Then that's when you use the fill color. You can choose any color here. You can choose to check more colors by clicking that icon. So if I just want to change this to say something pink, just click pink, and there you have it. So there's no limit to how you can design your front page. You can arrange your texts by doing margin center and whatever you want to put here, because this is not the basics of template. This is just your front page. Now I've linked this shape to a particular website. How do we do that? On the shape, I'll just right click. When you right click the shape, you have this pop up, and you can see, because I've already put a link, I have remove link, open link, or edit link. So if I have not added any link, you'll see link there, and you just need to click the link. It will open up this pop-up. When you have this, you can see that I have chosen to link this shape to an existing file or web page. So if I click that, I'll just come to the address and put in my website address. In this case, let me change to my current website, which is primetech101.com. primetech101.com/blog. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'll just click OK. So automatically this shape is linked to that website. Anytime the shape is clicked, it opens up that website, provided that internet is enabled on your device. So that is basically how this is set up. You can customize it to your tastes and your preference, and you'll be good to go. See you in the next lesson. The database setup. This is where you store the data of your students, the grading scale, and the subjects you are teaching. In this lesson, you will learn how to select and size multiple rows, write automatic row numbering formula, insert and resize pictures. You will format date appropriately, and you will learn how to arrange grading scale. So the database stores the data of the students. As you can see here, we have named, admission number, class, club, gender, up to pictures. On this table, we have imputed some names and the corresponding records. So one thing we want to learn here is, I intentionally increase the sizes of these cells and the columns. If you want to do that to the whole table, you just click this left upper arrow. As you can see here, when you click that, it highlights everything. Then you can adjust any of your row to any length, and every of the row will follow suit. So that's the best way to work on multiple rows at once if you want to have even distribution. And I intentionally had a bigger rows because I want my pictures to fit in there. The reasons you will know later. Now, we impute the student data accordingly, but there's one thing I want to show you. The numbers on this side, I have put a formula here such that I won't need to write 1, 2, and 3 and the rest when I impute any name. For instance, if I have students, let's say 5, and I click enter, the number will come up automatically. It is because I have put a formula in this set of rows down the column, and this is it. If you look at the formula bar here, you can see that if is equal to, before you start any formula in Microsoft Excel, you start with if. So if bracket open CA equals double quote. Now this double quote in Excel means nothing. So if CA, let's see, C4, this is C4. That is, if this portion that I just clicked, C4, and see C4. Let me go back. If C4 is empty, that's double quotation, comma, put empty. That's what that means. Now, another comma now. Otherwise, put row B4 minus row B3. Now, what I'm saying is, if this portion is empty, make this side empty. Otherwise, if there's something there, so I've instructed Excel to do this for me. Subtract row 4, this is row 4, you can see, from row 3. Now, what is 4 minus 3? That's 1. Automatically, this is 1. So if it gets here, this is what it will do. Row B5 minus will be 3. That is 5 minus 3. This gives me 2. And this is 6 minus 3. I mean, it continues like that. 7 minus 3 is 4. 8 minus 3 is 5. So with this formula down these columns, and I won't need to be imputing my numbers again. That's another way of making your data input fast and easy. Alright, another thing I want to show you on this table is the picture. Now in Excel you can insert picture. Let's put a picture here by going to Insert tab. From Insert tab you go to Pictures. When you click Pictures, it opens up your folder where you choose the picture of your choice. So the picture I want is in this folder. Select your picture, click Insert. When you click Insert, the picture is inserted on the page in the cell. So easy to pick from the cell. Come to the bottom right and drag to fit into the cell. It's important that it must fit into the cell. The reason is simple, because we are going to call these pictures on our gradebook when we start the main imputation results. Alright, another thing is the grading scale. Different schools with different grading scale. So whatever your grading scale is, the main thing to do is you arrange the percentage on the left and the corresponding letter on the right, from the smallest to the biggest number. Sure, the largest number is 100%. So from 0 to 49 on this sample template, E. So if anybody has 0%, it is E, up to 49% E, 50 to 59 DD. So between that two numbers is D, 60 to 69 CC, 70 to 79 B, 80 to 89 B plus, 90 to 100 A. So anybody between this percentage, we have grade A. So whatever yours is, the format is start from the least of the boundary to the highest and pull the corresponding letters. And on this part, I've just typed in the subjects. For this template, the subjects will be working with 10 subjects. So I put the 10 subjects here, and that's all about this database. We'll see in the next lesson where we'll be dealing with the main work of the day, that is the gradebook. One more thing before we go is the date of birth section. That is dates. We need to format these dates to make it very readable. Now if you see, if I click this cell, what I have here is 7/2/2012. Now what comes first is the month, and followed by the day and the year. Month, day and year. That's why it is 2 July 2012. Now to format it this way, you just select all the cells down, then on the home tab you see this portion. I've already formatted this to be date. You know, when you click here, you have different formats you can give your data. You have general, number, currency, date, and all of that. Now it is date, and even date, you have different types of dates. So I've chosen date of this format. The month will be written in abbreviation followed by the year. So you can choose any format of your choice here. So I've decided to choose this, and okay, that's the way to go formatting your date. Thank you. The Gradebook. This is where the main magic is. Here we have series of formulas that will transform our raw scores and give us a detailed result and analysis. In this lesson, you will learn how to link cells, use Excel formula and functions like sum, average, mean, max, median, standard deviation, rank, SUMIF, if, VLOOKUP, index and match, etc. Let's go in. This is our template, and this is the Gradebook part. On this side, we have the admission number as we have it on the database, and the names as we have it on the database. Now, first thing we'll do here is cell linking. If I click this first box and I look at the formula bar, you will see that I've put a formula which says if database, this is the database, if the database page D4, go to database D4, if this portion is empty, let me go back, if that portion is empty, put empty, otherwise put whatever is inside that database. This is what we call cell linking. If this place is empty, make it empty here. Otherwise, if there's a value there, put whatever value you have in here in that cell. This is what we call cell linking. Now, let me clean off the formula. I can as well do it just this way. Just clicking the cell, I'll click in the cell, then I put my equal to sign, go to the database, click on the cell you want to link it to. When you click on the cell, click enter. If you click enter, it will bring whatever you have there directly. Alright, that means we have linked this cell to this particular cell. So anytime there's a change here, let's say we have something else like this, look at what we have here, it will definitely change to that. So the beauty of linking of cell is for us not to repeat whatever we have done. We have done the same thing for the name too. Same cell linking, just click equal to sign, go to your database and link it to the name cell. So when you click enter, the name or whatever you have there comes to this place. So you come to the bottom right corner, drag it down, and you have it fill up automatically. So with that too, we are good to go. This part is for us to impute the scores for first term and for English. This template is structured per term and categorized by subject. If you see this place is first term, we have second term here, and we have third term here. I've intentionally used different colors to distinguish them. And the subjects too. All those three tables are for English score. So when you scroll down the sheet, you will see for the next subject, and for the next subject, and for the next subject. So we have structured it per subject, per term, which will make our score input very, very easy. We'll be able to distinguish and check different statistics with our analysis. Now, if I scroll to my right, immediately after the third term entry, we'll see the overall section. And what we're doing here is we are bringing the first term score, the total term score, the first term, we are bringing it here. And we are doing for second term, for third, and we are finding the average for English. We do the same for creative arts, numeracy, quantitative reasoning, and all of the subjects. And this part, we have the overall analysis, where we sum up all first term score for each student. First term score for each student, their percentage, the grade, the position, and the cumulative score. In this last part, no, not the last part, the second to the last part, we have comments from teacher, class teacher, and head of school. First term, second term, third term, and this last part, we have the result. Now, let's go and explain each concept. For this part, we have structured this template to have test 1, test 2, test 3, and example. And above each table, so we have the total obtainable mark. So for test 1, the total score, the total mark is 10. Test 2, total mark is 10. Test 3, 20. Exam, 60. Now, once again, this is a sample template. Your own might be different, but it's the same concept. We're just learning the concept in case you want to build your own. And if you want to use this, you are free to use. Alright. For every test 1, the total mark is 10. Test 2, 10. Test 3, 20. Exam is 60. So this is where we impute the scores for the students. So for student 1, 10, 10, 20, 55. Now if you see this part is total, and there's a formula here, summing it up automatically. What this formula is doing is, I have constructed this as a table. So it is taking, if you watch, I have each sum. Sum means add up. Table sub 1 1. That's subject 1 and 1. So add up from test 1 to exam. So from test 1 to exam. Whatever it is what it is. Now, I'm going to copy these values and take it to a fresh page and show you what I'm doing exactly. So let's copy probably these 4 rows. Ctrl C, create a new sheet. Come here under my paste, because I want to paste only the values. I will paste values. Yes, paste values. Let me put it here. Paste values. Okay. Now it is easy here. Now I am done copying. Okay. Let's assume we do not have scores. Here there are no data here. Alright. Student 1. Don't forget that we said the maximum obtainable mark is 10, 10, 20, 40, 50, 60. When we add up, we get 100. Good. Let's assume this first student has 10, 10, probably 8, and verse to poor. Let's say 18. 20, and in the exam it will be 55. Now, how do I generate the total? It's simple. Equal sign. Now, there's a function called sum in Excel. When you type SUM, you see sum comes up. If I double click it, now what are the requirements for sum to work? You must sum up some numbers. So if I want to sum up these 4 numbers, I'll click from the first one, I'll drag it to the 4th one, I'll click enter. Automatically it has summed up E3 to H3. Where's E3? E3. H3. It is 3 here. H3 here. It has done that for me. So what I'm going to do is I'll copy this formula down. If I copy it down, you can see that I have 0 here. That means it's summing up the corresponding rows. And since there are nothing here, you have 0 here. So if I put something here now, you see it will keep on summing it like that for me. Good. Now I have 5.0 here. If you want to increase or reduce the decimals, this is the portion you will go. If I click this to add more decimal, if I click this to take off the decimals. So depending on what you want. For this, let me remove the decimals. So that's how to use sum. For percentage, I'll click in the cell, put my equality sign. Now what is the percentage of this score? Percentage works to the ratio of 100. So I'll just click on this cell that contains the total score, and I will divide by, in Excel, divide the slash by the total obtainable score, which is 100. In this case, 100. Or better still, I'll just sum up, write another formula to sum up this, to do that for me. Since it's straightforward, I can work it out. So I3 divided by 100, enter, it will give me the percentage. And if I drag it down, I will have my values. But it's not yet configured as percentage. So if I highlight all the cells, this sign here, percentage, if I click it, to change it to percentage straight up. To do the grade, I will have to copy our predefined grading scale. So I'll copy this. I need to copy it so that I will show you how to do it. Ctrl C to copy. Come to this page, maybe somewhere here. Don't forget, I want to paste only the values. I click this. Then I have my grading scale here. Now to have the grade here, I can use the if formula, which will say if the grade is between this and this, put A, between this and this, put B, between this and this, put that and that. To be very long. But I can use VLOOKUP in this way. Put your equality sign. There's a function called VLOOKUP. If I double click it, it tells me that VLOOKUP works with some criteria. Criteria number 1, look at this, lookup value. What is the value you want to look up to get the corresponding scale? I want to look up this 93%. So you click it, put a comma, and you have your table array. Where is the table you want to look up from? This is the table. These 2 tables, these 2 columns. So you highlight your table, put comma again, column index, the value I want to return here. Which column is it? Is it column 1 or 2? This is 1 and 2. It is on column 2 because it's the alphabet I want to put in that cell. So I type 2, then comma again. And the last thing is asking me, do I want to put the exact match or approximate match? So I'll click exact match, and the exact match is another false. Then close your bracket, click enter. Woo! We have an error, but not to worry. The reason is simple. We have 93% here, but in our table there is no 93%. So we are not supposed to do exact match. Instead of false that gives us the exact match, we will do the approximate match, which is true. It will give us the corresponding approximate value. When we click enter now, we have our value, which is A. So it is telling us that any value between these two numbers will give us an A. So if I drag this down, now before I drag it down, my table remains constantly here, so it's not changing. So before I drag down, I'll come to my formula where I have the table frame. This place, I'm going to lock the table by clicking and typing F4, and again I'll do F4. Why am I putting F4 here? I'm saying my table array does not change. It will always be here. So when I drag it down, it doesn't move. So if I click enter now, I drag it down, I will have everything in order. But if I have not locked it, this table will have been dragging out to where there are no values, and I'll be getting wrong result. And that is how to generate the grade. Don't forget, what this $ is doing for me is that lookup O, lookup 3, that is O3, and lookup P and lookup 14, P14. It's going to lock up this, and it won't change as I drag down. So for the position part, we are going to employ the services of a function called rank. This is rank. If I double click it, it's telling me that what do you want to rank? Where's the number? I want to rank this number. Now it's telling me ref. Ref means where are all the other numbers you want to rank alongside it. So I'm going to click the first one to the last number. Then close my bracket. And don't forget, I have to lock this again because I want to drag down. So I'll click the first J3. I'll click F4 to put $ in front of J and in front of 3, or you can type it manually. It's still the same thing. Click my enter. So it's telling me now that this person is first in this list. Let me click down and see what I have in order. So this person is second. These two people are third. And that's how to do position. And on the other side, you can just type in your comment for this child. Sorry. And that's all we are doing. And that's all we are doing on the gradebook. And that's all we have here on this grade. So we do that for first term, second term, third term, same thing. And if you scroll down for all the other subjects, it's the same concept. But because you might want to test some other statistics, if you scroll down this, you will see that I have a column where I'm checking out the test average and the test average percentage, the minimum mark for each test. Because this template is constructed not just to give results, but to analyze all the data you have. You might want to find out the average of all the tests. Test 1, 2, 3 and the exam. The overall class average, the mean, the max, the median, the standard deviation, whatever you want to do. The same way. All you just need to do, let's copy this to the other page and do the same thing. You paste the values here. Let's test average. As the word sound, average. How do we do average? Equal to, there's a function called average. Then you look for average of all your test scores. Click enter. And that's all about that. Then you drag to all other parts. So this is the average of this test 1, average of this test 2, test 3, and enter. Now, average percentage equal to, this is the average. You click the average. You are looking for percentage, so you are divided by the maximum mark. What's the maximum mark here? That's 10 that we put up here. You click enter, you have the percentage, but still in decimal. You click your percentage here, and it changes to percentage. You drag it to the example. Alright, for the minimum part, you type min and you select your values. You click enter. It's telling us that out of all the tests here, the minimum value is 5. You drag down to get the minimum values. Here there's a function called marks. Same way, then you drag down. That's the maximum test score in that place. Also, we have median. Same way, and you drag down. So you might be interested in all these statistics depending on what you want. We have standard deviation too. Standard deviation. The same way, click enter, you drag down, and that's that. And you do the same thing here. Now this one is for each test, but this one is for the class average, class mean, and all that. So in this place, you will not be working with the tests, you'll be working with the total percentage. So it's just the same way. Now average now. So I'll be working with the total percentage. So I'll do it very fast for all other ones. So we are done for the other ones, and basically that is what is happening here, and that is all about this part of the template. So on this side, what we have is to transport all the total scores for each subject in each term to this place by doing cell linking. So this is English first term. What is the total score for English first term? Just link it to cell H7. What do we have in H7? H7 is total first term score for English. So just all we are doing here is linking the totals of each subject and each term. Then we find the average of the three of them using the average formula. Now I've put if error. I've wrapped it up with if error in order to make this table neat, because when you are doing average and you don't have any values here, so 0 divided by 3 give you 0. This place would have been populated with 0, 0, 0, 0. So I'm saying if there's no value, there's an error, just put 2 quotation in Excel means nothing. And that's that about that. And you do it for all of the subjects. The reason we are doing it is for the next segment, which is the analysis. So on this part, we are going to sum up the total score for student 1. Everything is summed up here. Now I've used the sum if formula, which is very simple to understand. Now this is telling us that sum if we check AI6 to BB6, that is AI6 from here, this is where we have So from here, this is AI6. Now from here down to this place, what we are doing here is, if the value is AI6, and in AI6 we have first term, so add up all the first term in AI7 to BV7. So what this beautiful formula is doing for us is simple. We are telling it that add up all the values here if it belongs to first term, because this is first term, and we'll do the same thing here. Add up all the values here if it is second term. Add up all the value if it is third term. That's just it. And for the percentage part, the same way, whatever is here, we divide it by the total obtainable score, which is the summation of all these one. And the same way we got our grade on this sheet, that's the same thing we are doing here. And the same way for our rank, that's the position as we did it here. That's the same thing we are doing here. The same thing for this part, And the cumulative average is, as it sounds, the average of the three terms put together divided by 3, and we find the average overall, average and the position overall. Remember, in third term we work with cumulative average, so this one will come in handy for to obtain result. And on this portion we have created this part for class teachers comment and head of schools comment. So to come up on the result sheet for first term, second term and third term. And this last part, that's the report part. The results page. This is the summary analysis for each student in your class. In this lesson we'll be learning how to use VLOOKUP on multiple ranges, create drop-down list, that is data validation, create named range, create and format graphs, set print areas, and create customized grading and result application. Let's go in. On this report section, I have beautifully formatted the report page to what I want to display for each child, each student in my class. And let's just go through it. On this portion, the picture of each child according to the name comes up here, and their details here, and on this side we have their scores, the stand and all of that, the details of the school here. Okay, starting from here, the picture. How did the picture get here? How do I have the name here? First thing we need to learn is this. There's something called data validation. I want to be able to click in this cell and the arrow beside it and select any child's name, then data of that child populates automatically on this report sheet. How did I achieve that? This is what we call the data validation, or we call it drop down. So when you click in the cell, you go to where you have data. So you go to where you have data validation tab, data validation. When you click the arrow, you have data validation. Now it's telling us that we already have some data validation there. So let me cancel this. Let me do something here. Now let's assume this is where I want to put the names of the students to appear in drop down. Go to data, data validation. I come here, I will choose list because I have a list of names. And in the source part, where are the lists of names I want to have in there? And if I click this, I'll go to where the list of names are in my database. And I will select this column down to the last name. Let me just stop here for now. and that's my list of names. So here I click OK, then it is there. Simple as that. So the list of names I have selected will be here automatically. So when I click student 1, it shows up. And that's what I've just done here, to put all the students' name here. And also I've given this cell, now this is a combination of two cells. I've merged it because some names are very long. I've given room for that. I've given this cell a name. To give a cell a name, let me give this cell a name now. To give this cell a name, just come to this box, click inside of it, and give it a name. Any name you give it, that is the name you can always refer to. So I've just named this cell namer. So anytime I refer to namer, it will come back to this cell. So I've also given this cell or group of cells a name, and the name is student name. Student name. So now you will see that in my subsequent formula, I'll be referring to this cell using this name. Now let's go ahead. The admission number of the student I select here, I want it to show here. Which formula do I use? VLOOKUP. So what I've done here is VLOOKUP CZ11, or probably VLOOKUP student name. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking out for it in a data. I have labeled my range here. I've labeled it. I've labeled my range here. I've labeled it data. I've labeled it data. So from here to the end of this place, I can select it and give it a name. Whatever name you give it, you can always refer to it. Now, on the report sheet, what I've done is look for this name in that data and return the second column, exact second column. Don't forget that when we have false, we are returning the exact value. In this case, I'm not doing approximate. I want you to return the exact admission number. So look for student name, which is this, in this database. And the database, I think my data is from here. Then return the second column. So 1, 2, the admission is on the second column. And that's what is happening here. That's why if I change from student 1 to student 2, it will change. So I've done the same thing for this one, but this class, my class is on the third column. I'll just change that to 3. And for this, is on the 6th column. I'll change it to 6. And that's just how I can get all of this. This is on the 4th column, 5th. This is on the 7th, 9th, and 8th. So all I just need is to change the column numbers. It will generate the data for this student. So if I select the next child, remember for student 5, we do not have data. All this data are missing. That's why it's missing here. So that's the beauty of VLOOKUP. It can always help you out to generate stuff like this. Now for the term, we have first, second, and third term. So I've used data validation to do that. So anytime I change to second term, all my results should reflect second term. First term, all my results should reflect first term. Now for session, I can just type the session I'm working here. But the mark obtainable that is the total mark for my class. I can do it straightforward. If I have 10 subjects, that's 10 times 100, that's 1000. But in case if your total obtainable marks are not equal, you can use sum if to get the total obtainable mark. But in this case, it is just 1000. Now, to get the mark obtained by each child, we'll use the VLOOKUP formula. And don't forget, I've wrapped it with first term. If with an if function, if dk6, this place is dk6, equals first term, tell Excel to look for student name, the student name. In the overall section, I have tagged this portion. I've labeled it overall. I've given it a range name called overall. Look for, in overall, return the second column. Because I'm dealing with first term, return the second column for that particular overall part, which is a percentage. Sorry, yes, which is a percentage I'm dealing with. Okay, it returns the overall for each child, and I've just wrapped it up in case if this changes to second term. I've asked Excel not to look for the second column, look for the sixth column where I have the second term, and if it is third term, look for the 14th column. I've done the same thing here. This is number in class. I've just used count a formula. Count a formula counts the number of non-empty cells. So if I want to know the number of students in this class, what I've done is count A, go to database, count all the values in C column that are not empty, and it was able to count just 5 because we have just 5 students named here. And my overall, the same way I did for this, I go to, if it is first term, told Excel to look for this person's name on the overall sheet, return the third column. The third column shows the overall for first term. For second term, it will be 7 column and 15 column respectively. The same thing I have done for the overall grade, and I use my rank to get the position. So on this part, I've used my VLOOKUP tool the same way to return the value for each subject. Test 1. Student name subject 1, that's the first subject. Return the second column. The value on the second column. This is the value of the second column. Let's come back to the beginning. This is the value of the second column starting from here. So it's going to return this as second column, 12, 4, and all of that. So I have done bulk of the work on this template. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. All I'm doing is explaining so that if you want to build yours, you can ride on that knowledge. So this will be the third column, the fourth, and the fifth. Then I've used same VLOOKUP to bring each subject teacher's comment. And on this side, what I've just done is the sum of all of this. That's the term total. Then I've used the same way to get my percentage that I've been using, and the same way to get my grade. So you can see it's a bit of a work doing it for the first time, but the beauty is all you just have to do is do it once and use it forever. That's the beauty of creating an application of this type. Alright, on this part I've just created some columns for my affective and psychomotor traits. So I went to for the present child, who is student 1. So what do I want to give him for attentiveness? All these are editable. I'll just click to the cell. I will type letter P. Now why am I using P? Because I want to have this tick sign. There is a font type called Wingdings 2. It changes letter P to tick. So I have formatted all these cells to be Wingding. So if I type letter P in it and click enter, it will change to tick sign. That's what is happening here. And on this side, this is where I have the psychomotor. This part, I have used VLOOKUP to bring the teacher's comment for this child. And for first term, it's going to return the comment for column 2. For second term, for column 5, that's the second term. And the last one, for 8. Just the same. I'm just writing on the effectiveness of VLOOKUP. The same thing for the head of school's comment. So anytime I change the student's name here, every data changes. That's what VLOOKUP can do for you. And anytime I also change the term, it also changes, because I've wrapped up each of these values according to term and with VLOOKUP. That's what we have here. On this side, I've decided to create a graph. And how do I have the graph? I've labeled the graph first term performance. How do I create graph? Simple. Just to make my analysis very, very worthwhile, I created a graph of the subject against the term percentage. Then let me create a new graph now. Let me select the subject, hold down Control and select the term. Let me create a new graph here. How do I get a new graph? Go to insert. This place is for charts. You can click recommended charts. Excel can recommend some charts for me based on what I have selected. You can see it's recommending this type of chart for me. This is exactly the type of chart I used. So if I like this chart, or if I want to use a conventional column chart or whatever chart, I can select it and click OK. Now you can select the chart. So all I'm left with is to do some editing. Now, you see here you have a cross sign. If I click the cross sign, it's telling me that do I want axis in my charts. I don't want to click this box. Whatever I don't want, I remove. I don't want grid line. I want it to be plain. Then my chart title, I can click inside it and type whatever I want. Let's just say data, whatever you want to type there, click enter. That's what you have there. I don't want these values to be here. Delete that. But if I click this, plus sign, I want my data so that I will know the value for each graph. Now, there's an arrow here asking you, where do you want your data change the color. This is the fill color. If I click fill color, it changes it to the color you want. So you can play with this graph, and before you know it, you have something as beautiful as this. You can play with the spacing, the formatting, and all of that. If I double click this chart, this format chart area comes in. And when it comes in, I can do some editing here, and I want to give it a shadow, give it a blue. I want to increase the size, give it some property, and I want to change the colors, the borders, and everything. So you can play around and make your chart look the way you want it to look. And that is what I have done to get this beautiful chart here. And don't forget, as the values change, the graph will change for each chart. And this part is for attendance. Just look at this portion. Number of times school opened, times opened. This part will be the difference between the two. Just did this minus this. Here, I've just done the percentage. Whatever I have here divided by number of times school opened. So then I put in one bar graph here that shows the number absent and present with their values. The same way, just play around with the graph. Let me select the graph now. See, go to insert now. Recommended. No, different type of graphs. But I've decided to use a cluster graph here because of what I want to achieve, just to do something pretty. So here I used the bar graph, but a clustered, stacked one. You can see this is the same thing as what you have there. What I just did was to do some formatting to make it fine or finer. So here I've just put the grading scale that I've used and the rating scale for my psychomotor and affective trait. And here, like we always have on report sheet, next time begins on. So type your date here and don't forget, format your date to how you want it. You've already learned that. And that is that about this report sheet. One thing before we go, if I want to print for each chart, I need to set the print range to cover only this report part. So what I will do is I will select the portion from my report sheet. So I will tell Excel, if I click print only this portion. Print only this portion. Where do I do that? I go to page layout, and on page layout you will see this area called print area. If I click the drop down arrow, I can see set print area. If I click on set print area, Excel will store it in its memory that on this page, anytime I click print only this highlighted area. Now let me check. Let me go to file, go to print. You can see it's only having the result part. So that's how to set print area. Basically, that's all about it. See you in the next lesson. In summary, we have been able to learn how to do simple formatting using the fill colors, font colors, button shapes, and pictures. Be able to create a table based on preferences, how to insert pictures, arrange grading scale, and how to link up formulas to form our main result sheets, where we can link student name and scores, work with totals, work with percentages, grades, ranks, position, to collate all our results to have overall score, and the analysis for terms, and ultimately to produce a report sheet. But it is worthy of note that this template is not an automated one. To get our main application for grading and generating results, where all you need to do is just impute your scores and everything works out automatically, and where you can send results via email. So you can check our main application from our website www.primetech101.com. It's called Grading and Results App 2.1, and we also have an extended version which is Grading and Results App 2.2, and I'm sure these wonderful applications will do you a whole lot of good. I implore you, check it up. These are all the things you benefit among others. It's macro enabled, it's editable, it runs offline, easy to use, can be used for the whole school. You can send your results via mail, Outlook, Yahoo, and so on. And also you want to check our preschool and nursery school applications. We have 2 types where you can decide to make do with, because the way we access preschool children is quite different from primary and secondary. We have these 2 types, preschool and primary type, and I want to check them out also. I'm glad you do that and send results via email. Also, check all the applications we have. Wonderful ones, number board, we have the simple school quiz with, we have attendance timer, we have applications for school fees and board of a whole lot of it. Just go to www.primetech101.com and you will be glad you did. I want to use this opportunity to thank you for attending this course